Welcome back to Gemstone Podcast. My name is Lance. I go by LP. I have Chy and Zack with me today. We're excited about today's segment. Please go make sure that you subscribe and follow our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora Podcasts. Now, we got some great topics for you guys today. I don't want to waste any time. So, Zack, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you.
What it do, baby? Your boy been out for a minute, but I'm back. What it do, Gemstones? All right, baby, we gonna get straight to it right now, y'all. I got a topic that's been talked about multiple times, and I think every podcast there is to imagine or in mankind, basically. But we're gonna add a little twist to this one. We ain't gonna talk about some of the things they say. The topic for this one's gonna be who's more delusional in dating, men or the women? Let's get into it. When we're going into these dating scenes, I think we are very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Influenced by social media now. I think we're very influenced by what we think our parents went through and what our parents did or our grandparents and stuff like that did, and not really looking at what they really did, asking the questions of how they kept a relationship going long term, if they're in a relationship strong, or how their relationship ended, what they did in the relationship to make it end. It's a whole bunch of just people assuming and pointing fingers of who's to blame and who's not this and who's not this. And we got to figure out what's going on with it. Because, in the modern female delusion could be, I want a 6 feet tall, intelligent, six pack, got his own house, car, give me $600 allowance, take me shopping, so on and so on sometimes. Gets crazy. And then, so what y'all think about that sometimes? What do y'all think about a modern woman's delusion? Do you think modern women have delusion? I'm open the floor to y'all. What y'all think about that?
Absolutely.
You say absolutely, Sha. Why do you think modern women have delusion?
For one, the men be selling delusional stories and they believe it.
Come on, talk about it. What you mean they selling you delusional stories?
Gaslighting, love bombing, preying on women that have low self-esteem, or preying on women that are looking for love, they're looking for marriage, things like that.
Do you feel like social media has played a large influence in that too? Not just what you said?
No, materialistic wise, yeah. But men been selling dreams since the Bible. So social media, yeah. You see, let's give example.
Gotcha.
Ari, what's her name? Ari, yeah, Ari and Moneybag, right?
Yep.
So Ari, every single year, she go on this lavish birthday trip. Moneybag sent her on a trip, and I know people personally that be like, "Oh, I got my birthday, blah blah blah. He ain't taking me on a trip like Moneybag." And Ari, I ain't, like this. But it's like he's not Moneybag. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those things, material things, people do that. But as far as like in the real world goes, the guys are meeting women. They're saying, "Oh, I really like you. I'm feeling you." They calling, they texting every day, they checking in on you. You might get a little cash app, but they do this to 10 other people. So it don't mean nothing. And then a lot of times, a lot of these men jump from women to women, so they haven't had any time to really heal, discover themselves. Like a lot of men and women too, they never even been single before. And I mean like completely single, not dating anyone, not having sex with anyone. Like that's rare to find someone that's like that. I remember when Omarion said that he had been celibate or not celibate, he's been abstinent. He's been abstaining for sex. I think he said it was to 13 months, something like that. And nobody believed him because he's a celebrity. He's attractive. We've, and not gonna say we all, but some of us have saw his genital, I ain't being politically correct. We didn't see that meat. So nobody believed that he was abstinent, but I believed him because when you start discovering yourself and you've been in the industry for all your life, you done had plenty of sex. So it's like mature grown men, sex does not excite them. They've had sex. They've had a lot of sex. Like, yeah, they like sex, but it's not a end all be all. So I believed him when he said that he was abstaining from sex. Like he was working on himself, his career, like trying to get to, put him where he wanted to be at. So he was like, "Well, I'm giving out my body to all these different women for." And I said, "Clock that T. Men don't think like that. Men don't. A lot of men don't hold their body, their sex to a high regard like some women do. Like how women, oh, I'm gonna make them on a 90-day rule. Men don't do that because men do not value men don't value their eat, their booty, they're not like men don't do that. So I believed him when he said it. So that's another thing. So
Hold up now. I'm gonna have to clock you on that right now because you say value in the 30-day rule. I mean the 30-day rule, 90-day rule, whatever that one is. You might do that to that man, but you ain't do that to the other man.
but how you know?
I ain't stupid. Hey, let me tell y'all something real quick, Gemstone. Let me tell you something real quick. Let me listen to this real quick. The lovey-dovey stuff, how she put you on these rules and everything, trying to make you wait. She a slut for somebody else. Your first date is a one night stand for somebody else. Don't ever get twisted that.
Cap.
Cap? How much you want to bet? I done been the dude on both
Cap.
sides of the fence.
Cap.
All right. Okay. Keep believing that. I done been on both sides of that fence.
Well, it's cap and it's not cap, but that's true for some people. Just like a man will lay up with you every day, watch TV, have sex, hang out, but then he'll be in Cassandra inbox talking about something. Oh, I'm gonna take you out, blah blah. He don't take you nowhere though. He want to lay up with you all day and watch TV, but Cassandra, he trying to get her to come. You know,
right? Look, I'm not gonna correct you on that because some people know who they want to take out. Some people know who they just want to smash. You might have just got categorized to that man when he saw you just smashing.
Is it really just a smash if you with him, let's say 5 days out of the 7-day week?
Absolutely. If all you doing is smashing and you don't do nothing else, what do you think you is? If he ain't taking you on no dates, he ain't taking.
And that's the misconception, though. That's why some women get sucked into falling for these guys because I'm with him every day. He FaceTime me every day. I'm at his house. It's 7 days a week. He's at the house 4 days a week. They fall in love like that.
Can I jump in?
Jump on in.
So the question was, who is more delusional, or is women more delusional, right, Zach?
The question is, who's more delusional, men or women? Right now, we're talking about the modern female delusion. We're talking about this. We're going to hop into the male-female delusion to see which one, and then we just come to the conclusion. Which one do we feel like it's a tie? One's more than the other? Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is what I'll say. This is my perspective and my opinion. There's no facts surrounding this. There is nothing surrounding it that provides anything as far as some type of sustainable, something that can stick. But when it comes to women and the modern day woman, I will say that society has, like I said, this is my opinion. Society has pushed women, and I really want to say Black women, and I might get crucified for saying this, but I really feel like society has pushed Black women or has put a battery behind this movement to put Black women before men. So therefore, a modern woman has this depiction or this ideology as to what a good man looks like, right? Like you said, 6 foot tall, 6 figures, blase, blase, blase. When always that doesn't always align with what is traditionally or holistically correct, because a good man comes in many shapes and forms. It doesn't come in a 6 foot tall package. Ain't no starter kit. Like, you remember the whole starter kit they used to have all the time? Used to be a starter kit they had on social media. This is your starter kit that you have to have for waves, or just a starter kit that you got to have to do track, whatever. But there's not that for a good man. A good man come in many shapes and forms. They're not always in the boardrooms. They're not always in the gym. Sometimes they're in the grocery store. Sometimes they may be just taking a stroll, listening to a podcast or something like that. But women have been put in this pedestal as if they are this prize. And I don't know why that's the case. And like I said, I could get crucified for saying this, but the role of a man as being a leader in the alpha, that true head of household, head of relationship, has drastically taken a step back. And that's why I believe why we have that modern day woman perspective. I ain't gonna say delusion, but perspective, as if, I'm the big dog, or I'm this, or this man, this, or I got a different man for this, a different man for that, because of that mindset. Now, not to say that men haven't had this. I'm probably jumping the gun a little bit into the conversation. Not to say that men haven't had this, but traditionally, there's always been a male perspective. It hasn't always been a woman's perspective. A woman was always kind of put in a lane, and this is where she's supposed to be. And not to say that's correct, but I would just say that this modernization, these modern times, have expanded the role of a woman, and now it is kind of forced males to take a seat back, so to speak. That's just my opinion.
But that's not what he's saying, though. We're talking about delusional in dating. not delusional in your everyday lifestyle or your
But that
gender
is
role.
delusion. But that is delusion.
That's not what he's talking about. He's
But
not talking
that's
about that.
delusion. In my perspective, that's delusion because no gender is over another. And we can
No, but
disagree.
he's not talking about if a gender over another. He's talking about women that are delusional, like a woman thinking that a man he bought me flowers or he loved me. Like he's talking about being delusional, like being infatuated with a person without any actual evidence or any actual proof that the person even with you. Ain't you what you're saying?
Well, it's about 50-50. Y'all are both correct. What
And
I'm
I was
talking
gonna say
about
that
in the
ties into
broader
it though.
it's more so saying like how he's talking about it and how you're talking about it. Because in a relationship, all that comes into right? You have the people where you're thinking $1,000, 6 foot tall, big dingling, no dingling, whatever type of situations, like all these things are delusions. And then you still have the people, men coming and like you said, feeding people these false lies, and it makes them delusional to think that I have this person when you actually don't.
Mm-hmm.
So
All I was gonna add was another example of a men gaslighting, right? The movie Boomerang. Marcus and Marcus had his representative, right? He was, if you look at Marcus, he was at a great job, he was good looking, he was a gentleman, but he wasn't a good man. So a lot of women meet the representative and they immediately fall, like women they say they are emotional, them nodes activate quicker before the men do. So you meet the man. Oh, he say, dinner at 7 on Friday. I made reservations. You get there, he got flowers, blah 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 blah. The whole time in his head, he ain't even thinking about you on that level. He just out here eating because he want to eat. He's just out here doing it, like he's just doing something he does. So a lot of times women do go, like they go into that situation and they fall in love, they fall in like, and they start liking the guy because they assume that he's a good guy. Or Chris cuts his grandmother's grass on the weekend. He goes to church every Sunday, but Chris has 10 different women that he's talking to. But you don't know that because a lot of women fall for the perception. So yeah, women are a lot more delusional than men. But I will say this: even though women are more delusional than men in love and relationships, that's why all these podcasts talk about most of the time women, because we the lovers, right? But even though women are more delusional than men are easier to manipulate than women. And if women would, I'm gonna say it again, men are easier to manipulate than women. And the reason why, not the reason why men are more easy to manipulate. Women end up getting a short end of the stick or end up being manipulated because they don't walk in their feminine energy. Feminine energy is the most powerful thing in the world. Femininity is power. Femininity made a person disobey God and eat that apple. Femininity is power. And a lot of times, a lot of women do not walk in that femininity and they end up getting a short end of the stick. So that's why. That's my.
Well, I don't know about the femininity made Adam eat the apple. I disagree with that. But I will agree that when a woman does operate in her femininity, it does give her a level of oversight in a relationship that one who is being more aggressive or masculine won't have. Because I say this, a male is always going to be the masculine person, aggressive, want to make decisions, want to, kind of lead the way, kind of be in control, so to speak. But and when you have a woman that operates in that same threshold, that it becomes, difficult because a man's gonna buck. If you get on top of a bull is not gonna ride smooth. He's gonna buck you. He's gonna try to get you off. He's gonna try to. Then when he gets you off, he's gonna stump you. He's gonna tramp you. Try to ram you. That's the same thing. So women have to stop trying to contain the bull, so to speak, in a relationship and just try to learn how to navigate it and learn how to maneuver. And like you said, and that's operating in your femininity. So you're absolutely correct. But I want to go back to something that you said earlier when, saying the delusion about, because he's a good guy. He cuts his grass every Sunday. He does this and does that, but he got 10 women. But that also goes back to what I'm saying about the delusion that's associated or the perception that's being presented as what's a good man from a social media aspect, from a society concept, right? It's not coming from a place of discernment. And that's what I think about. When you think about who's a good person, who's good for you, who's a good spouse or girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever it may be, husband, however you want to put it. you have to have a level of discernment attached to that. But in order to get the discernment, we have to, expand our perspectives, our ideas, our minds, our thoughts. But instead, a lot of individuals, which is, social media contains a research that was put out saying social media dictates, I think it said 81 or 82% of people's decisions. So that also translates into real life. If social media is dictating 81 or 82% of people's decisions, that also transcends into their relationships. Because now how I choose somebody, what I think looks good, what I think is good for me, it's all based off what I'm seeing or what I'm digesting from a social media aspect, which then detours your discernment because you're not making informed decisions. You're making a decision based off popular opinion or social media influence. I think that's the issue with modern day dating, modern day women, men, whatever it may be. We're not operating on a level of discernment where we can really discern what's for you and what's not for you. That's just my opinion.
Well, I also want to say, so if you're a masculine woman, like naturally you're more masculine than men. I mean, not than men, but like naturally, in most of your relationships, you take the masculine role. You need to get you a man that is more feminine than. It's a lot of men out here that are straight, heterosexual, and they have more of their mother's estrogen than their father's testosterone. If you are a naturally more masculine woman, you're naturally like most. You're the breadwinner who control the household. You make the decision. You need to get you a man that operates in more of a feminine energy, even if he's heterosexual. It's a lot of heterosexual men that operate in a more feminine energy. It's a lot of stay-at-home dads nowadays. It's a lot of men at home that make less than half of what their wife makes. So you need to do that. If you like to be in a dominant role, get you a man that's okay with being in the less dominant role. There are a lot of men out there like that. So you don't necessarily have to change who you are, or not have to be, the alpha female that you are. If that's naturally who you are, you're not just doing it just to be a butthole. But if that's naturally how you are, you don't have to change who you are. You can still be that alpha female. But it's men out here that have more of their mom's estrogen than their dad's testosterone. It's a lot of men. There's a lot of men out here that are a lot more emotional than women. Find you a man that you are equally yoked with. That's it. I remember growing up, I had two neighbors. I'm gonna say their names, Carolyn and Kevin. Carolyn was very masculine. Carolyn was masculine. Carolyn was bossy, and Carolyn was the head of the house. Period. Kevin was soft spoken. He was subtle. He talked to the kids. They had 6 kids, mind you, so they was definitely attracted to each other. There was a lot of bumping and grinding going on. But Kevin was soft spoken. He was subtle. He was endearing. He was a gentle man. Carolyn was not like that. Carolyn was get your ass house. Come on, let's go. Like Carolyn was the masculine role. So just get you somebody equally yoked.
I'm gonna have to check, not really check it. I'm gonna have to put an input on that though, Shy. Just because you don't not the breadwinner don't mean you ain't dominant or you don't have alpha mentality or
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I'm saying, if you're the woman that you're used to being the breadwinner and used to being the charge of everything in your life, in her life, not together. Then get you a man that's willing to take the back seat and be feminine and be in the feminine energy. That's all I'm saying.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Yeah, hold on, Zach. And I'm gonna give it back to you, Zach. I disagree with that because I think that as a man, your role is to always lead your household. Even though there is some men who is soft-spoken, who don't mind, being a stay-at-home dad or whatever that may be. But your role as a man is to lead your household. I don't care if you don't make all the money, you don't make more money than your wife, your fiance, your girlfriend. Your job is to lead your household. Now, you mentioned something about that apple. Now, this is where that comes into play. That's why we're where we're in today, because he didn't lead the garden. I mean, we're going to get into all that later or another time, but your job is always to lead your household. I think you don't always have to be loud and boisterous and aggressive as a man who leads your household. You can be subtle, you can be calm and have behind the scene conversations with your spouse or your girlfriend or whoever you may be that you're dating or that you're with at that particular time. Hey, I disagree with that, blase. And I always believe it's a woman's job to respect per man. It's not her taking a back seat or him taking a back seat. We should be co-pilots. We should both be able to fly the plane just in case somebody goes down, somebody gets ill, somebody gets sick. I don't want a backseat driver. I want a co-pilot. And I believe that's the disconnect in our generation, because everybody wants to be the head, but no one wants to relinquish any power, relinquish any control, relinquish something. Because guess what? When two people come together, y'all become one. And that means both thoughts have to be one. That means decisions have to be one. I mean, finances have to be sent with a understanding of one. All things have to be one, which is difficult. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of relinquishing power. It's a lot of giving up control. And like I keep saying, with the modern day woman, and then this current space we're in time and in the world, that's going to always be difficult for women, because women have been put on this pedestal to have the power, to be powerful, but to be this, to be that. Look, women, as long as you can do what you do, and I'm trying to be PG-13, you're always going to be in a position of power, because you can give a man something that no other gender can. So you're always going to be in a position of power. You should never be broke. Your bills should never go unpaid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because you can always do something for a man that no other gender can. But you have to be willing to relinquish something and let a man be a man and lead. That's the role of a man, to lead. And some men have good leadership, some men have bad leadership. But guess what? Some women are put with some men to enhance their leadership, and vice versa, to help a woman, but to get out that masculine energy and to get into a feminine energy, like you said. But we have to be willing to do so. That's the problem.
I want to add something. Go ahead.
No, I agree with what he said right now. It's pretty much what he said. I think kind of being soft-spoken is not mean you're not an alpha man or anything. It's just a trait that you have. Like, I'm a quiet person. If you don't get to know me, you would think I'm soft-spoken and quiet. But I don't give any beta or any softness masculinity. I know who I am as a man. I know how to be a man. But just because you a breadwinner don't give you the right, like he said, to be the alpha and dictate and be the one controlling everything. It's a partnership if you come together as one. So that partnership should have some type of balance in it. And if you don't have balance in it, that's why a lot of them relationships start to go left, because you ain't got no communication and no way of balancing each other out, because one think they doing everything and the other one think they doing everything. So now y'all mad as hell at each other.
Well, so I never said that the guy, my old neighbor, he wasn't in the alpha role because he was soft spoken. I never said that. What I'm saying about them two is that they knew their position. Both of them had clearly agreed upon or clearly came together because she was more dominant and he was not dominant. He took her leadership. He took her lead. He went behind what she said. They raised how they raised their kids. That's how they were. But that doesn't mean that a man that soft spoken can't be the alpha male lead the household. No, I'm just saying that particular relationship, she was the head of the household. It was clear to see. Now, something else I wanted to say to what Lynn said about partnership and things like that. Here's the thing with that. You don't have to. A woman doesn't have to. A man doesn't have to. Yes, it would be a good thing. But if two people come together and they decide that if two people come together and they decide they can't agree on the terms, they don't have to do it. Nobody has to compromise for anyone. No one. We choose to do these things. We don't have to. That is the biggest thing. We don't have to. No one has to. If you are a alpha woman and I'm he woman raw and I'm you run down the block saying that, you do not have to compromise for any man. I want the women to know that, and they know that. That's why they don't do it. If you Oprah, just for an example, not literally. If you're Oprah Winfrey and you say, you know what, I'm never gonna marry my man because I don't want to share my money with him. I don't want to do this and that. You don't have to. You don't have to. We don't have to do these things. Just like the man. If the man says, boom, I don't want to, I'm okay with us being like we are. I don't want to ever get married to you. That's his choice. So we all make that decision. If it's an alpha woman and she's this woman 40 years old, 50 years old, she been the head of her household all her life, she been this and that, she made all the decisions. Baby, she don't have to Monday morning and wake up and say, I'm gonna do what Earl say. She don't have to. Now if she chooses to because she loves him, because she wants to be with him, then yes, that's the choice they make and that's what they come together on, but she don't have to. And if Earl says, you not gonna let me leave the house, I can't be with you, bye Earl. Cause Jimmy gonna be okay with it. And just like Earl wanted a submissive woman, a partner, someone that he can compromise with, somebody he can grow with, he can go find it. Because guess what? Marissa wasn't going for it. So we all have a choice. We don't have to do any of that. Period. Especially not in today's world, we don't have to.
So what you're saying is that a person doesn't have to compromise if they don't want to. They don't have to sacrifice if they don't want to. So a person should find somebody that fits into their thoughts, their ideologies and methodologies, and also that person should find somebody who doesn't challenge them to be better. Sacrifice and compromise, that's conflict, and conflict brings growth in your character and into your morality and how you make decisions. So we're saying
You
that
don't have
we
to.
should do that.
No, what I'm saying is that you should be, first, for one, you should be equally yoked with somebody. Before you even do anything, that should be number one. Now, what I'm saying is that, yes, the average people want, you should want to be with somebody that challenges you to be better. But I'm saying that you don't have to, though. That is a choice that you make. There is a choice. If you meet a woman and she's amazing and she makes you want to settle down, you like, man, I ain't never had a girlfriend since the 10th grade. You meet her and she's dope, she's amazing. Guess what? He made the choice to change and be with that woman, but he didn't have to. He could continue on his life and do shit just like with the woman. She's making a choice to come off of her alpha female tip and be submissive and be all these things for her husband. She's making a choice. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. And just like I said, Oprah. Oprah been with Stedman for 40 years and she never married the man. She don't want to share her money with the man. Plain and simple. She does not want to share her money with Stedman. She doesn't have to. Now, if I was Stedman, Stop probably feel some kind of way about it. But guess what? Oprah never had a baby with him and never married him because she didn't want to. So we all have a choice. If the person that you're with is not willing to compromise or willing to be what you need, go find somebody that is. That's my point.
Let me break this off into the men topic of the section. You think it's, if you're with a man, you're a man, and you're with a woman, and she doesn't want to give up your, say, the power, or wants to be a co-partner, go find somebody else that's trying to be a co-partner. That's basically what you came down to saying, right? Find somebody that wants to be that type of situation. You don't have to be with somebody that doesn't want to be with you, basically, right?
Yeah, you ain't deal with no bull crap. You choose to deal with it. Just like if your man, you've been married to him for 20 years, he done cheated on you 400 times, you choosing to be with you love. But you don't gotta be.
No, you don't. So I was just trying to make sure I brought that around to the subtopics. If you're choosing to be with the people you're with, you choose to be in situations you're in, because you see flags, you see everything. So it was a choice you did. You could have left. You chose not to. Oh, I want to bring to you, Shy, you've been in the dating world and you've been dating for a while. What do you feel like is some delusions that male men have?
Number one delusion. Every man thinks.
Hold up. Be gentle now. It's still 2 men in here, right?
Yeah. Number one delusion. Every man think he got good dick. That's not true.
You said be gentle.
It don't matter the size. The size never been really important. I mean, for some women, yeah, but a lot of men just don't have no rhythm in the bedroom. So you could be the best muncher, the best whatever. Hurry up and finish, because I'm bored with this. So a lot of men think that. A lot of men think they great in bed, and that's not true. A lot of men think that they're the best man a woman had, and that's not true. A lot of times, her best man probably was 10 years ago, but she didn't end up with him. But she ended up with you because you are the man. You don't have to be the best man to be the man. Walk with me here. You don't gotta be the best man to be the man. You the man though. So I mean, what's another delusion men have? Like there go back to what I said. A man can be easier manipulated than a woman can be, but women choose to be. Women have women intuition. You know when a man ain't no good. The first day you met him, you know he ain't no good. We choose to because it's fun. Oh, we gonna go see about him. Men, y'all don't have that kind of discernment. Y'all don't have men. There's no such thing as men's intuition. So a man, you could literally, you know how many men sitting on death row because they killed the man over this woman because she said he did something to me. You know what I'm saying? Like men are so easy to be manipulated into. All you gotta do is tell a man what he want to hear. He that man that is good. Ooh, this and that, and that's it. It don't take much. And you do the same thing for women too, though. But if you tell a woman she got the best and you ain't had it in 2 months, she gonna know she ain't got the best because you ain't had it in 2 months.
That is a lie.
No.
I say
If that thing was good, if you had that thing on a regular, if it was that good, okay. Because a man will drive 12, 14, 16 hours for some good. Okay, I watch this guy TikTok now that drive to Atlanta every month for the I see 12-hour drive. You drive for it. So I said, like, men don't easily manipulate it. I'm just, what my ex told me? He said, wow, I thought the person I thought you are not that person. And he was absolutely correct. He thought I was a quiet girl. I stayed home. I didn't talk back. I cook and clean. And he thought that, which I do cook and clean. I like doing that. I'm domestic. But the other stuff was not true. Outside girl for the most part. Like, I'm not the girl he thought I was. And he was mind blown because I had my representative on. And it wasn't intentional. It was just at that time that you met me, I was just on some chill stuff. Like, women, we can go back and forth. Men can't. Well, men can, but like it's just a different. Like, we can be okay for 6 months. We gonna be this way. For the next 6 months, you ain't gonna know the woman. That woman gonna change. The signs is always there, though. That's why I say men can be a lot easier. I'm trying to give you another example. Men can be persuaded easier than a woman too. That's why the women always send the man downstairs when they hear something rumbling. A man can be persuaded way easier than a woman can, in my opinion. But it's just about, just like when it's the husband and wife. The wife finna borrow his money. All the wife gotta do, rub his shoulder. Oh, baby, them diamonds is so pretty. And because he wants to please her, and because she rubbed his back and probably rubbed something else, she got them diamonds. How many times you gonna rub a woman back and get something you want? Barely. All right, I'm gonna mute.
All right, so Zach, to answer your question, man, I wouldn't say men are delusional or they're easily manipulated in relationships. I think what has to be realized is when a man truly loves a woman, he's going to go the ends to the earth for that individual because he truly loves. I've always said I think men love harder than women, and men handle heartbreak harder than women because when a woman's out, when a woman is stay in a relationship and be emotionally checked out, mentally gone, and just be going through the motions. And the whole time she got Jimmy and John, who she dealing with, or she got on the side because she's emotionally unavailable to you now. A man is still going to do everything he's supposed to do in a relationship, be still emotionally available, just simply because that's just my perspective. A man loves harder than a woman. Now, not to say that women don't love hard. I know Sha may give me some pushback because women do love hard. You do have women that stay with a man that ain't no good. They stay for years because they see the potential this individual has and they want to push him, that person, to reach that potential. But eventually, if things don't change, then the potential that they want to see now is no longer something they care about. Now they're just trying to find the exit plan and they do the whole emotional unavailable thing again. Now, this is what I will say. Shy said that a man to drive 12 hours, 14 hours for good living. I will agree. A man will. But it's not because of that. Because you can get that when you can't pay a bill. You can get that when you broke. You can get that when you ain't got no food in your house. You can get that when you ain't got no gas in your car. You can get that any point in time. If you a good looking man or a half decent looking man, you got a little something going on. You know how to dress a little bit, smell good a little bit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got a pretty smile, blah, blah, blah. You can get that anytime you want. But if you have an emotional connection to somebody, you will go, like I said, far ends to the earth as a man. In some way, sometimes you may know that person doing wrong. I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't known that some individuals I've dealt with in my previous, life, that they weren't doing some backhanded things, or they would have something going on behind closed doors, or they may have, thought I didn't know, but I did know. Yeah, but guess what? I rock with that person. So man, I ain't gonna pay it no mind. They eventually get their act together, blase, blase, blase. And you keep moving. In some aspects, yeah, it's because like I said, it's an emotional connection. And I believe once a man has that emotional availability, and it becomes emotionally attached to a woman, the delusion will take place. I could be wrong though. Now, Zach, I don't know if I said too much, but I'm gonna give it to you.
I ain't driving no 12 hours for no pussy. That ain't gonna happen. I live in Houston. You can throw a rock and you can hit somebody. I'm not doing it. I drive 12 hours for love. I'll fly across some states for some love. But for some booty, I got a little bit of a mouthpiece. I got a little bit of a mouthpiece. I can talk somebody into giving me some booty. I ain't driving 12 hours. Ain't hell no. How much gas that is, nigga?
Okay, so what about the men that just do it for fun? They ain't even about the booty or love. They just do it because they want to do it. They just do it for fun.
They got an emotional attachment to that woman. Without a doubt. And
Yep.
if they have an emotional attachment to that woman, that's why they're going all the way out there. Or it could be that good. I didn't have some good. I ain't never had no 12 hours good. But
No, but I said, what about the ones that just do it for fun? Like, let's say, for instance, they live. He live in Kentucky. Sabrina live in New York. He fly her to New York. He having fun with her that weekend. Boom. 2 weeks later, he get paid again. He flying to Houston so he see Tisha, but he don't plan on being with none of them exclusively. He just enjoys having fun with 3, 4 other women that live in different states. Then he got women that he live in his city too that he mess with too.
It's the lifestyle, Shy. He likes the lifestyle. He has a rotation. See, a person who moves like that is a businessman who travels a lot. And it's the lifestyle. Any city I go to, I got something I can play in. I got something I can connect with. I got something I can take out. I'm never bored. But an individual also like that has some insecurities they need to gotta go figure out because he or she don't like to be alone. It's the lifestyle. But it goes back to modern day times. You know, when you what's it called? A high value man, you know what I'm saying? You got the pick of your litter. So that goes back to social media influence.
hold on, LP. I think you missed the part right there, bro. We was raised in the time where they said it came out with a song called Pimping All Over the World. Sometimes, like you said, you just want somebody in a different area code. I can't get in trouble if she over here, she can't know this person over here. They ain't gonna, they don't recollect. They don't know each other.
But that was different times though, Z, because
That ain't no different topic. It happens right now. Women
No,
get
okay.
blown out every day.
there were different times, not different topic, different times because when we were growing up, social media was just coming on the scene. You didn't have locations, you didn't have Instagram, you didn't have Snapchat, you didn't have none of these social media platforms. What's it called? X. You didn't have X. Yeah, I mean, all we had was Facebook and Skype and MySpace. That was it. So it was much different during them times. So if you go to another city, you know what I'm saying? Your phone may not work because back then we had roaming in the States. You may go to another city, go to another state, your cell phone say roaming. You ain't about to use that thing. So you get them additional charges. So it was different then in our times, but now in today's society, it's way more access. You know what I'm saying? You snap a picture, somebody zoom in, see a building. It say Chicago, it say Illinois, it say something on there. Man, nah, you lying. You was in New York. I zoomed in and I saw so. It's much different. We didn't have those applications when we grew up. We had a lot more flexibility. You could come up with a story, come up with something, and you'd be good.
I mean, that's not really modern day time because men been doing that. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Men been having kids in different cities, different states. Women, they been doing it.
Come on, Shy. Talk
This
to
ain't
me.
nothing new. Men been doing this since the Bible. Men been having 10 different wives. Y'all men just mad because the women doing it now too. That's really waking up. Y'all just mad because the women is taking dominant roles. The women talking they mess back. The women telling the man, well, get the hell out there. You can go. Because I have Charles over here tomorrow. Y'all just mad that the times have changed.
No, you see, but the thing is, these men don't handle a woman like that how they need to be handled. Woman tell me she gonna have Charles come over the next day, but tell him come on today. We ain't gotta wait till tomorrow. Bring his over here now. We ain't gotta waste no time. Let's go ahead and expedite the process with your raggedy ass. See, that's the problem. Ain't nobody hitting back like they need to hit back.
Yeah,
See,
and the women
people
saying,
wanna
okay,
crazy.
cool. Guess
bring him
what?
in.
I ain't gonna be here tomorrow. You know?
Nah, he can come today. He ain't gotta wait till tomorrow.
Hey, look, Shy. Dr. Parker has left the building. That nigga caught a flashback.
He can come
Gonna be
today.
here. I don't give a damn. That's how the women is nowadays. But me personally, even though I'm a modern woman with a little bit of traditional, I would never tell my man just wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't. But I mean, it's a lot of women that do it. While a lot of women will stick their chest out and be like, well, you ain't gonna do it. Guess what? I know 3 that will do it. I know blah blah blah. But me personally, I would never do that because you might get knocked out. You said like that.
Now, I will say this, though. This is another topic we can get into right now, since it's on the same aspect. One delusion I will say for men and women, I will put to this: the role of what a traditional man is, should do, and how they run the household. Most men don't know how to be a traditional man because they never grew up with a man. They grew up with the streets and the uncles and people that taught them how to do it. and learning from TV and everything else. Most women don't know how to be a traditional woman or know what a traditional man is because they never grew up with a person in the household. Now, when I say this, I'm speaking on this in all general terms of every race and gender, because every race has people that have single households. We done talked about that in the previous episode. If you ain't seen it, go back and listen to it. But everybody has that typical single household family. So you don't know how to be a traditional man, a traditional woman, when you ain't never seen your parents usually be traditional man, traditional woman. And then the ones that do have families that are still together really never ask the questions, the hard question of, Mama, how did you stick with that one man? Daddy, what made you stay with Mama? What did you work on to do that? The delusion is that nobody want to communicate, to ask questions of how things have made it and how you survive this long.
Well, for one, times was different. That's for one. Times was a lot different back then. A lot of marriages they was miserable, but they stayed together because of the Bible, because of the better or worse. Nowadays, people don't do that no more. That's why people not lasting no more like they used to. It's really that simple. Like back then, you didn't, they didn't have that much. They had a choice, but I mean, it wasn't that much of a choice. Not like nowadays, you could just go. Back then, you would just stay together. We got kids together. We ain't going nowhere. He got a child across town. I'm messing with Mr. James around the corner. I'm end it. Look, I'm in my topic on this. One of my old neighbors, back to old neighbor. I forgot her name, but I remember she was a chocolate lady with a jerry curl. And I was her neighbor for about 12 years. Lance, you probably remember the pink house I stayed in. I lived there pretty much elementary school, middle school. So the lady was all that time, she had been dating this man in a blue truck that lived on the Parachi. And he was her side man the whole time. You talking about 12 plus years. And that was her side man. They been doing this stuff. It ain't just starting. We are the children of the other stars.
Infidelity is nothing new to relationships. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing new. But Zach, to what you asked, you're right. We may be the byproduct of that generation that had, issues of having side men for 12 plus years, stepping out in their marriage, having side babies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they still stayed together. So we're not asking those questions. Man, why you stay with Mr. James when he did this and this, or why you stay with Respucia when she did this to you? Like, we don't ask those questions because now we're going to get into a deeper conversation into where you got to peel the layers back and gain some understanding. Because I've talked to some couples that are much older. But Zach, I ain't gonna say their last names, but they from Mineral Wells, man, they've been married for longer than I didn't live. I mean, I've been on living 34 years. They've been married for almost 50. So talking to them and just hearing stories from the husband who was a veteran, and then from the wife who works in the school system, the school district, and listening to them as to what keeps it together. Because like they both said, no, it was hard at times. She did this, he did this. It was very difficult when we was younger, this, and this. But as we grew, we learned to communicate better. We learned to forgive, learn to give each other grace. We learned that things ain't always going to be easy. And this is the one thing that he said to me. He said, we stopped taking the approach of that this is going to be a fast food marriage. This ain't going to be something that's quick. Happiness ain't going to come quick. Longevity is not going to come quick. We understand that this is something that has to be a preparation, which means each individual has to work on things continuously. And he also said, the person you marry is not the person you die with. That person changes over a period of time. So you have to be willing to relearn that person every so often and get to know this new person every so often in your marriage and in your relationship as time goes on. I think that may be something. I don't know if I answered the question though, Zach, but that's the conversation I had. And I really do think that we look for fast food relationships in this day and time. We want the quick, we want the stability, we want the happiness, we want the vacations, the money, and we want everything to go how it's supposed to go right then and there, instead of taking the longevity approach, because it takes work. It is not something that just happens overnight. And those individuals who have that fast food mentality, it never works. It always ends in disaster. Look at those celebrities who be married, and then they get divorced. It'd be disasterful. And these people who got money, it'd be disasterful because they're looking for that quick, ready-made fast food relationship, and it ain't gonna work.
Man, we hope you enjoyed this topic right here, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I want y'all to go get in the comments right now and leave us your takes on this situation. Tell us what you think. Tell us why you feel like this modern dating is the way it is. Tell us why you think the man or the woman is delusional. Let's have a conversation. Come get in here. Let's join this talk. I think we can take from both parts of my colleagues. I think if I speak for y'all, that in short answer, both men and women are delusional. Very much so to each other. In long answer, it just depends who wakes up first, right? Who wants to be the person that wakes up in the relationship first? Well, that's it for us, y'all. We hope y'all enjoyed this topic. We hope y'all enjoyed talking to us. We love talking to y'all, Gemstones. We hope to see you guys soon again. Please reach out to us in all the comments on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon podcasts. And you're going to be reaching out to us on Pandora here very soon. Please go follow us on Instagram, and our TikTok will be dropping real soon. So be on the lookout for that so you can join that, follow that. Also, make sure you sending us emails. Send us our emails at gemstonespodcast@gmail.com. We love y'all. I hope y'all have a great day.